Hello everybody, welcome to another tier list video. We ranked all the investigators at Christmas, and then we joked, what if we do all of the cards? And then someone said, I expect to see all the cards. They hoped it would be all in one list, but will be disappointed and understand why it isn't. So we have come up with a way to rank all the cards. Buckle up. This is a long series that is honestly actually just fun. We're going to be ranking with 3-player in mind, and also like our thought process of the game. So if you disagree that a card we rate low, or if we don't give a good enough explanation, let us know in the comments and we'll talk about it. That's what YouTube's all about. It's about open discussion.
We'll tell you why you're wrong.
So we're going to do each everything by assets, skills, allies. Oh no, assets are allies. Assets, skills, and events. We're going to break all of those down, and then we're going to rank like the S tier of all of them together, or like even just the SAA of all of them. So we're starting with Guardian assets, and I think what's most important always when you make this tier list is figure out what your S tier is and then what your D tier is. And I think it's pretty easy. D tier is first aid. That's
are these level 0 first aid's D tier.
Yes. Yeah, I have their level 0 and their experienced versions as well for all of these cards. It's all of them up to 3 meters. So
can we put Machete in S?
I think so, yeah.
Because it got nerfed.
It did get nerfed.
Yeah.
So it's a solid starting point.
Machete is probably like the best level 0 loot card in the game.
Yeah. And then I think we also should kind of figure out what our B tier is, what like right in the middle is.
Can we put upgraded first aid there?
Yeah, I think like B tier for me is like very good in niche archetypes.
Mm-hmm. So
A tier
I think
is like
in that case,
archetype defining.
Mm-hmm.
Like A plus is like sort of cards that auto includes kind of.
Yeah. And then S is just bonkers broken.
Yeah, it's like best of the best.
Yeah. Otherwise known as expect to see a lot of Seekers cards here, because Seeker starts with S.
It does.
It just makes sense.
All right.
It just makes sense.
So where should we start? Should we just go through the list, or are there some that we feel like we can poke out into this? Guardian is probably my least played class, so this is the one that I feel the worst in helping.
This one's got a lot of stuff in it, so I figure we could just start at the top left.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 45 automatic.
That's like a. It's like a.
I think that one's a solid B.
Solid B.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the better cards in the B tier, but it is not A tier.
Cool.
I think that first aid's a bit better than the gun though.
Yeah, first aid also costs you XP though.
Yeah, but like where it's good is really good. Physical training is like pretty garbage.
I think it's a C tier. It's not as bad as first aid, but
I think
considering the upgrades for it, it's a D.
I think that card is quite workable. Is
it
it
costs
good?
you 2 actions worth of resources to play it, and an action to play, and a card to play it, and then you have to spend more money.
Yeah, money's easy though.
Not when you're blue.
Well, then while we're here, why don't I'll grab all the physical trainings and we'll look at them. So I'm just putting them in D just to see, just so we have them here. So let's look at all of these. The highest experience
one is like A or A plus.
Which one? The 4
really
experience?
Good. Yeah, that one's actually really good.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a free guts or overpower every turn.
Which is pretty awesome.
Even split up if you want them. I think the 0 cost one is also quite solid.
I'd say it's like low A, high B. It really shines in a well-prepared deck.
Yeah, definitely is very good there. Also, when it comes to rating these cards, a lot of people are going to be like, but it works really... I think a perfect example of this while I was building this list and while I was recording some Nathaniel Cho yesterday is boxing gloves, right? Like, Boxing Gloves is really good in Nathaniel Cho, but in my mind, it's like garbage everywhere else.
Oh yeah, no,
No, there's a couple other
completely
investigators
agree.
I think it's good.
I think Boxing Gloves is like D tier. I don't think that card is good. It has like incredibly narrow parts of the game that it can be very strong in, but at all other times it takes up both your hands and it doesn't do extra damage.
And I think that's the best way for us to understand when it comes to the series. I think, like, even though like this card is good in Nathaniel Cho and all right and some other investigators, we kind of have to look at it as a card. Like, if you're going to build, like, that's where it kind of gets a bit like hard with Arkham Horror the card game, because like in the right package, most cards in this game are good, right? Like they'll shine. But when it comes to making a tier list for fun, we gotta like kind of like have a goal for it, right?
Yeah, I would be okay with putting the Boxing Gloves at the bottom of C. Like, to me, the D tier is reserved for the cards that like I don't want to play at all, ever.
Yeah, that's how I feel about physical training level 0.
All right, we can dump it down there if you want.
It can be high D if you want, but like I would
I'm
never
not-
put that card in my deck unless I had like set restrictions.
Yeah, I'm not married to the idea of that card. Like, it's fine if you're playing a deck that's meant to abuse it, but I guess that's like not a good place to be.
To me, the physical training, I think it kind of goes like this. Like, there's a whole tier between each of the upgrades. IMO.
Yeah, like the level 0 one is incredible, but also partly because it is a guts and an overpower while it's in your hand. So if you don't
The
have
level
spare
4 one, you mean?
resources- No. The
the zero
level,
cost.
The level 2 one, the level
the
2.
0 cost one. The level 0 one
Okay.
is like not so good.
Yeah, you said level 0, and I was like,
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. I meant the 0 cost one.
And as always, we can, once we get this more filled out, we can adapt.
Yeah.
All right, B-Cop level 0.
B Cop level 0 is like A tier.
Yeah.
And then we'll just go to the upgraded one, A+.
Yeah.
I would put him at
He's-
like the bottom of S tier. Like, Tesla's damage is so incredibly
Honestly,
strong.
I could actually see that too. It's very strong.
We can leave him there for now.
Yeah, I think he can sit up here for right now. He's a very good blue card. Guard Dog.
Guard Dog's like a high C low B, I think.
I would put him in B definitely.
I kind of feel him like low B. I think he's nice.
Like he's
Like,
strong.
Yeah.
He's fine, but
He's
he's
a
a
good
little
boy.
less flexible than the 45.
All right. Police Badge.
I think this one's also like a middle of B tier card. It is just like a static boost to your brain for 3 resources, which is pretty good, and it takes up a slot that Guardians don't have a ton of competition for. And then it's got like another use too.
Yeah.
I
If
would-
you
I
want
would
like
put
if
this
you
one
do have
higher.
another trinket or accessory you need to play, you can be like, all right, let's just take 2 additional actions and then play.
I agree
Yeah.
with Bren that this should be higher than like first aid.
Sure.
It's significantly less. niche than that.
I would put it a whole tier higher. I think. My perspective on this is like I play green cards a lot. 2 money for an action is like where that's supposed to sit. This is 3 money for 2 actions in a color that's not supposed to get that.
It's like 3 money for an action. Because you still have to spend action playing it.
You spend the action, like the action you spend, you get the +1 brain for, and that's like pretty okay.
Well, yeah, it's like future action. It's not
Yeah,
just
that's-
straight like 3 for 2 though.
Yeah.
It could be low.
No.
I could see that too.
No, but like it does give you the static brain buff, and if you have that for more than 1 turn, that's also like kind of worth the 3 money in action.
Yeah. I do think as well,
Pretty
just
close.
static buffs are nice, right? Like,
I like how having a police badge makes your character feel more confident about himself.
Yeah.
yeah, even if they're not a cop, they're like,
Yeah, they're
stop,
just like, yeah, I'm
cool, you're
official."
under arrest. Shotgun.
For fun
Shotgun's
tier, I'd
like-
put the shotgun in S. For practical tier, like
It's like
bottom
B.
of A tier. Yeah.
It is for experienced weapon. It's not like awful,
Yeah.
but like you need to make it. The 2 ammo hurts a lot. I feel like.
Yeah, that's very
the
fair.
the 2 ammo and like the lack of reliable damage. Like the lightning gun just gives you 3 damage every time you succeed. This might not.
Yeah, and especially as well, like also like 2 ammos, especially in like more like there's like long scenarios now where you're like, all right,
Yeah.
I've shot 2 big things, but there's still 3 big things waiting for me, right?
Yeah, 2 ammo's a
Yeah.
little tough.
Yeah. Blackjack. This is the one
Is
that
this
doesn't
the-
let you hit your partners.
D tier.
Oh yeah, like if this is the level 0 one, it's D tier. If
It
this
is
is the level
level
2
0
one, I put it in A plus.
You could probably just screen through here and take all the weapons that don't do extra damage and slap them to the D tier.
Yeah, like that.
I wish I knew what those weapons were offhand, so we'll just get to them. You guys can
The
just
right
say
hand,
D.
right hand top row.
Uh-huh.
The trench knife, that's D tier. That card's trash. It doesn't do anything.
Is it better?
Yeah, that card can actually
or-
go lower than first aid.
Which
Yeah,
one?
like it's at least first aid can do something.
Yeah, like first aid, I would put in my deck to remind me to upgrade to other first aid.
Dude,
Yeah.
it literally
French knife, I
just
wouldn't
gives you
ever
plus
play.
1 fight.
It's
Yeah.
really good, I guess, if you're constantly engaged with like 6 rats or whatever.
Yeah, but other than that,
Yeah, like
Brother
it's
Xavier.
it's a really cool card for an archetype that just doesn't exist because there are never that many enemies in play.
yeah.
My archetype list would disagree with you.
Yeah, sure.
Brother
Brother
Xavier.
Xavier, I give like an A plus. He's like real good, and even though
Yeah.
we don't play him so much anymore, he's still real good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
mean,
he's worse than the level 4 physical training for sure, but yeah, he's definitely better than level 0 beat cop.
I recently played him in Tommy, and he shines,
Yeah.
right? Like
He's
he
still
does it.
he's still kind of a tank.
Yeah. Yeah. Bandolier. I think this one's like a archetype. Like this one's like an archetype, right?
I think that's like a
Sorry.
card. If you're
Yeah,
playing that,
no,
I
I
think
agree.
you're playing it to upgrade it.
It also, if we put it next to the boxing gloves, it's like kind of okay with them.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
They belong together.
Yeah, they do.
Kenai.
I actually played with this one recently, and I was quite impressed by it.
I think.
And,
I mean,
it depends obviously on your investigator's base book, but if you've got like, if your investigator has like 3 book, I think it's pretty solid.
Even if they don't have 3 books, like paying 2 resources to get +1 punch for the rest of the turn, like
Yeah, it's like a pretty good
that's
deal.
pretty good.
I think honestly, anything that's permanent is going to be better
Yeah.
than like just like a tier better than anything in like a similar effect, right? Because you don't need
Yeah,
to draw it or play it.
Exactly.
And I think those sitting like to me comfortably in an A for most of those is pretty fair.
Yeah, with one clear glaring exception.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
higher education all the way down in D tier, right, Bryn?
Yes, I hate
All
that
right,
card. It's so
I
bad.
believe this is the Springfield.
That is the Springfield. The Springfield gets
Into
like
the
bottom of
C
C.
tier.
Yeah, like it is better than the cards in D tier, but not by much.
Yeah.
This is the one you're playing in our return to.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Like 3 damage. 3 damage is huge.
For everyone who we're still recording that because we had to stop because of restrictions. But if you're ready for Angry Travis, get ready
Oh,
for
I get pretty mad.
yeah.
Honestly, I'm as mad as Travis is. I'm about that disappointed in myself.
Lightning gun, really nice, really
Lightning
strong.
gun's like S tier.
Yeah, lightning gun is like I would give lightning. I think like lightning gun is. Well, yeah, we'll put it there for now.
Yeah,
I think it's a little bit lower than B cop level 2 just because you want to play it in less decks.
Yeah, but when you want to play it, man, that thing is sick.
yeah.
But like it's like B cop is like, especially since B cop's level 2, it goes into pretty much any fighting blue deck. It's like your default ally.
Oh, I agree.
So
I need to have a reason not to play B cop. I need to have a reason to want to play the lightning gun.
yeah.
But when you want it, it's
Yeah,
like,
like
it's,
when you
the
want it,
numbers on the
this
card
is
are just
like-
so strong, right?
they're
Like
so
yeah, it's
big.
still in the S tier.
Yeah, I think the card to me that would push this out of S tier is like possibly the flamethrower.
I think flamethrower is better than it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm saying that like I think flamethrower is a better firearm. That will.
True Grit.
True Grit's
True Grit.
actually like high B low
Yeah.
A, I think.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Like being able to take damage for other investigators at your location is really huge. The fact that it costs 3 to give you 3 meat soak and red gets 0 for 2. I mean, like I guess this one doesn't take up a slot,
Yep.
but being able to take damage for other investigators is like pretty big.
Where do you guys want to put it? Low A or high or top B or like?
I'd
Top,
put
top
it-
B is like a little bit niche.
Yeah, That's fair.
And it's a
That's
little
fair.
bit
3
pricey for what it
resources.
does resource-wise.
The composer whose name I can't recall for the life of me.
Is that one Moxie?
No.
No, Moxie's green.
Moxie's the green one.
Yeah, Moxie's green.
This one might be like physical. It's physical
Combat
something.
training. It's combat training.
Combat
That's
training,
the one,
yeah. I want to say physical training, but no, that's the other one.
I think this one sits in between the zero costed physical training and like the really good one.
Yeah, I think it's like solid C tier.
Yeah. Well,
It's very rare that you want like fist and foot. You know.
I think this one's better than the level 2 physical training, largely because it soaks a horror, and that's so important. But yeah, you are right. It is also rarer that you want foot.
Yeah. I think
it's worse than that.
I think it's like, honestly, like I think these composers are. I think it's like a B tier. I think all the composers are better than we play them for.
I think some of those composers are really good, but combat training's not one of them.
Yeah, because it only has like one relevant stat. I think that does. I do think it's good, but I think in terms of like what you want as a blue character, I think it's like.
Yeah. But Trav, this one can keep you on a train.
It's true. This one you play Justin Dunwich Legacy in the Essex County Express.
You feel like we all got our combat train that we pay experience for, so we don't fall off the damn train.
We don't fall off the damn train. Yeah, no, we don't. Yeah, stick to the plan.
That one can probably go higher than Machete, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I saw that card and I'm like, I recognize this one, which means it's like, you know.
Yeah, I almost hate how good that card is.
Upgraded 45?
Upgraded 45 is like a solid A to me.
I think it's like low A. Where like it's not a bad card and it's definitely better than the level 0 version, but like for 2 experience, I don't think it's that big of an upgrade.
Yeah, I think that's fair. What, it's plus plus 1 and you ignore retaliate? That's not
plus 2 and you ignore retaliate.
Yeah. That's good. But...
upgrade.
Yeah. When it's good, it's really good.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you want your like really like with these upgrades, you want to at least get at least 1 tier improvement, right? Like that's like when you know it's worth upgrading for. Mm-hmm. Armor of Ardennis.
Like probably C tier.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Like that one's fairly low, I think.
Yeah.
Like the decks that want it are fairly niche. Don't get me wrong, it's like incredibly strong in those decks, but like the boxing gloves.
Experience is like
yeah, it's not like it's fairly narrow. Like
it's
you
nothing
don't,
to write
you don't
home
want
about.
it all the time. It's really good with the smoking pipe.
Mm-hmm.
Can protect you from lung cancer.
Trench knife level 0.
That's not a trench knife. That's a survival knife.
Sorry, survival knife. This is the
survival knife is like actually pretty okay, like C or B. High C, low B.
I think it's right around where the 45 is. Level 0, 45.
Like it's a pretty okay level 0 weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much the best you can say about it.
Yeah. Upgraded survival
pretty
knife.
okay.
Oh baby.
Yeah, upgraded survival knife is sick.
Yeah.
We got Venturer. Oh no, did I get upgraded survival knife? Okay, good, I did. I was like, all right. Venturer.
I think he's C tier.
I'd put him in like almost D tier. This piece of garbage shows up and he's like, "Don't worry, I brought extra bullets," and you're like, "Good, give them to me." And he's like, "One at a time."
Nah, you gotta earn them.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean you won't just give me the box of shells?
It is kind of a function over flavor, and it's not even like a fun function either for that one.
Yeah, like I don't think like if he costs 3, I think this would be good. Or if he costs 4 and you could just like as a fast action do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't need to exhaust him. Like 4 cost for a reload and some soak is kinda not great.
Yeah.
Let alone like 4 cost for a very slow reload.
Well prepared.
I think well prepared is like a solid A-ish. It's hard for that. You have to build around it like a little bit, but at the same time, it's never bad. You know?
Yeah. Like even with your weapons,
tough.
Like it's a +1, right?
It is pretty hard to be playing blue assets and not have assets with good icons on them.
Yeah. I think I like it slightly more than the gun, but that might be my own bias.
Yeah, that's I mean, the upgraded gun. So the real part that is tough for that upgraded gun is the fact that Enchanted Blade exists at one more XP.
Mm-hmm.
Like Enchanted Blade is like so much better as a mid-tier weapon.
What the heck is this gun?
That's the 1918 BAR.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the machine gun.
All right, and you
That one's
get
also-
spend 1 to 5 ammo. You get plus X, and this deals X
Yeah.
damage, or X the amount of ammo you spend. All right, that's
That
cute.
one's pretty mid-tier. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say that one's like better than the Springfield, but it's still kind of trash.
yeah, like I feel like it has a lot of future potential, where like maybe we actually get cards to support this whole spending ammo for not damage archetype that we have like 3 cards for, because it's an incredible battery of bullets.
Yeah.
And like if you are playing Leo and you can swift reload it, you have infinite bullets.
Sick. Yeah, I think is here cool with you guys just for
Yeah.
that low B.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
main issue with it is that you can't fight something for +1 damage without spending 2 bullets.
Oh, that is rough.
Yeah, because it doesn't do plus X damage, it does X damage.
So then you get 4 shots out of it.
Yeah, so you get 4 shots at +1 damage,
Plus-
although you can
but you get
also
plus
get
2 and +1. So it's like
yeah,
worse. It's like this, but it costs
but it costs
2
more and
more
takes both your
experience.
hands.
Yeah, I think I'm honestly with that. I'm putting it at high
Yeah.
C.
Like it is a little rough. The turns where you can get 4 damage out of it are sweet, but there are better guns for that.
I think like a C tier is like if I see you guys buying armor for Dennis, I'm like, dude, this guy's got well prepared. He knows what he's doing, right? I see you buy this, and I'm like, what's this guy doing, right? Like,
Yeah.
are we doing a meme series or something?
Yes.
Handcuffs.
They all are.
Yeah. Handcuffs are D tier, man.
I think they're like C.
I think
They
C
have
as well.
been used.
When I talked about how much I hated them, some people came and gave some good points for why they weren't that bad. Even though I can't handcuff a Gug, I do think they still have their niche uses, kind of like
All right.
boxing gloves. And I think it's
I'll take your word for it.
yeah. I'll put it low C. We'll put it low. This is kerosene, which,
Yeah.
if I remember, ain't great.
Kerosene is better than Travis thinks it is.
So what does it do again? If it has no supplies, you
I think
start
this
it.
is actually that's not hard. Like if it does anything, it's better than I think it is.
When an enemy is defeated at this location, to exhaust kerosene and smell supply, heal to do horror from among investigators and ally assets at your location. It's an action to do that.
Yeah. This is like
Yeah.
I would put it like top of C tier. Like healing horror can be incredibly important. That being said, this card is not super great at it. Like it heals a whole big chunk all at once, and is very funny in a Carolyn Fern deck. Where you're like, see, this guy can't hurt you anymore. He's dead. Now we're burning him.
My gut's putting it here. But like even then, like this is pretty much just like it's better than first aid, but it's very similar.
I will literally never play kerosene in my deck.
I have played Kerosene one time, and I was pretty okay with it. It does also cost an XP if that influences.
Oh
your
yeah,
decision.
okay, all right, yeah. Well, we'll put it here. I do think, yeah, it's just
Into the trash.
I think it does have its homes, and if you're playing with investigators who have personal weaknesses that do like a lot of brain damage, such as like Wendy or Roland,
yeah.
or even if you're playing with like the waitress, Agnes.
I think there's just
Pretty
better
okay.
horror soak and horror healing options in like every class.
Yeah, it's kind of hard pressed. It's like you guys know how much I hate hoops, and even though this is a hoop that blue's really, it's very easy for them to
it
jump
is
through.
easy.
I'd still rather just like get first aid to level 3, right? If I was worried about that. Albeit once again, I'll stress this is just the three of us shooting the shit with this. Like, I know people love handcuffs, but until you can arrest a Gug, it's low C for me.
No, man, this is an objective ranking.
Flamethrower.
The next two cards can both go in S tier.
Yeah, this is like the lightning gun, but better.
Yeah. No, that's an S tier card.
I think it's A+.
Card.
I don't think it's S tier.
I think it's an S tier. That goes in like every blue deck I make.
Yeah,
it's boring, but like it's the most efficient stat boost in the game.
You know, I'm with you on that, but if you want to get it like in your opening hand, you probably need 2, and then your second one's just a dead card.
Well, you don't need 2. You just play 1, and if you get it, it's great. And if you don't, then you just play it when you draw it.
I still don't think it's like to me with this like other stuff. That's just me. I'll let Bryn weigh in too. And also, where do we want Flamethrower? You guys have played with it. I haven't.
I would put
that's
yeah.
good.
No, I think that's about right.
Nailed
like,
it.
Machete's availability. Like there is never a scenario you could not play Machete in, unless you're playing with the taboo list.
Yeah.
Which this is not we're not talking
about. Bryn, what about?
I have an irrational love of tarot cards.
It's not irrational. They're really, really good.
Even the bad ones.
I think the blue and the yellow and the purple all deserve to be S tier.
But yeah, like I do agree. Like +1 to the offensive stat that you intend to use, and sometimes it's just free. Like that's pretty good. Sure, drawing a second one does suck, but
you just don't play 2.
Yeah, like you don't have to play 2.
Sure,
unless you're like hard on the idea of getting it.
Do we think it's better or worse than the lightning gun?
It's worse than the lightning gun, I think.
Yeah, it's like probably bottom of S tier, but
cool. All right, we got next something worth fighting for. So if True Grit
that sits above True Grit because horror is more valuable.
Yeah. I was like right there with you guys.
Like otherwise, it's very similar.
Yeah. This is the whatever the frick Tommy gun.
Yeah, I think that fits in around the where the 45 is.
Yeah, it's a solid option. Is it better? It's more expensive, but you also get an extra shot, and you're always on +2.
I think that does make it better.
Intermediary for the big gun builds.
Yeah.
Enchanted Blade, multi-class.
Actually, like, A tier, I think.
Better than the gun?
It's better than that gun, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. It doesn't cost XP.
Better than
I think it would be up there just behind B-Cop. No, behind B-Cop. Yeah.
Yeah, the only downside this card really has right now is taking up the arcane slot, which is getting more and more cards that you can play in blue that are kind of good.
Yeah.
Are they better cards though?
Probably not. Also, this a lot of them just soak damage, so they're not going to sit in that slot forever.
Yeah. Okay, Alice Luxley. So as soon as after discover clue, deal 1 damage or 2 damage? 1 damage?
1 damage.
1 damage. I've tried to play her a couple times, and I'm always disappointed.
I think she's low B.
Yeah, she's like really neat, but she's also super niche.
Yeah, she's like fine in Carolyn, and she's like... I wouldn't be upset if I sat down to play someone who was playing Roland and had her, but I wouldn't play her in Roland.
Yeah, that's pretty fair, I think.
You think low B's good?
Yeah.
Because she gives you two soak and also
she's like a different B cop.
Yeah.
Like it has an ability that does damage on it. It's worth 2 and 2 soak, and it gives you a flat buff to an offensive stat.
I think honestly, her reaction is just kind of like a pipe dream. It's going to trigger a lot less than it sounds like it will on paper.
It's really good with that scene of the crime.
Yeah.
Type effect, or if you have multiple enemies and like one of them's small, because if you have multiple enemies, one of them probably is, and you have an evidence, or you are Roland.
Yeah.
But I think she's like a little too niche for her own good.
Upgraded Tommy.
This card is sweet.
This is the gives you money back one, right?
Yeah. Every time you spend an ammo off it, you get a money.
Ooh.
I think this one's like A tier, maybe low A plus.
Yeah, I'd give this one like low A tier because I have played a lot of like intermediate tier weapons, and like this one is definitely better. I would put it like near the level 0 enchanted blade probably.
Yeah, like one thing this really
It's
struggles
good.
with is that it's like a big gun, and it, in that same vein, is competing with lightning gun and flamethrower.
Yeah, like it costs 3 XP to put in your deck, which means that you could just wait and buy like a lightning gun instead.
Yeah,
And it doesn't do +2 damage. It just does +1 still. And the upfront 6 resource investment on it is fairly steep. But this gun is also probably one of the best cards that you can play to get extra ammo on. Because all the extra ammo cards are basically just free.
That's a good point. It kind of reloads itself
Yeah.
with those.
Yeah, so like if you're going to play with one gun that you intend to ride through the entire scenario, this is probably one of the best ones to pick because you're going to have bullets all the time. But,
Yeah. Upgraded Enchanted Blade. Low D?
I'd give this one an A+. plus.
yeah, me too. This thing's sick.
And
Top
yeah,
of the
an
class or
upgraded
below
Enchanted
this
Blade
one?
is like pretty sweet. It's really tough for an intermediary weapon to get the pass over this for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not just for the lightsaber trims.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's actually just good.
Just good.
Grenades.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, like
No,
They're
it's
up-
definitely not a D tier.
their upside is like incredibly situational, but
But no hand slots.
yeah, like doesn't take up a slot.
It's like 3 Storm of Spirits.
Yeah,
But it does call. I don't know. I think that one's like an A card.
yeah. It also has the kind of neat upside of like it doesn't use ammo; it uses supplies, and it's a lot easier to come by extra supplies
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
than it is ammo.
that's true.
Where do you guys want to put it in A?
I think it's better. I think it's better than the handgun, 45.
Sick.
I don't think it's better than much else that's in this list, though.
Cool.
Yeah.
Agency backup.
This is another one of those cards that goes in the S tier for fun.
Yes,
But
I agree.
actual, I think it's like when I played it in Tommy, which admittedly is like it's built for him, and it was insane.
Yes.
Like always had the money to play it, always paid for itself, like 4 Tesla's clues or whatever.
And then you kill them, and it's like 3, and you get your money back. Like it's
And you
like
just shuffle them back into your deck. It's like, oh baby. But that being said, I think this card's kind of trash in other Guardian decks.
yeah, it's so expensive. Like it does a lot still when you can get it, but like then you're like not doing anything else, right?
Yeah.
I think it's honestly probably like middle B, right?
It's like really cute with upgraded first aid.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I just think
cute and good are two
realistically
different
it's
things.
like here.
I think that's
Yeah.
fair.
But man, I agree. If this was on just pure fun and excitement, easy S tier. Cause look how many numbers are on it.
Yeah.
Hallowed
big,
Mirror, I
too.
believe.
This card's like really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that you can only play one of it, because then you can't rely on actually getting it.
What do we think? Somewhere in A? What does the Soothing Melody do again?
It heals 2 divided as you choose among any like number of allies, investigators, whatever at your location.
And you get one in your hand and shuffle 2 into your
Yeah, and then
deck,
you
right?
and then like you draw a card. Costs
Yep.
0. It's really good.
I think this is like an A tier.
Yeah, like the points that it loses for me is like Travis said, you can only play one.
Yeah.
Like only playing the one isn't that big of a deal in blue, because you're probably already playing cards that dig up items and stuff because you need weapons. Like,
Maybe-
Prepared for the Worst doesn't do that, but Tetsuo Mori does, and Backpack does.
Maybe here or just above police badge?
Sure.
Yeah. Hungering Blade.
Fun, this one's an ass. Cool, this one's an
Yeah.
ass.
How good is it, though?
Yeah, good. It's like paying XP for a machete. Yeah, like it's not a great weapon. As much as I wish it was.
What does the weakness do if you can't? If there's no
if you
blood?
can't, like you take a horror and shuffle it back into your deck.
Okay, but it's not too hard to get blood on it. It's what you're going to be doing, right? You're here to kill.
Yeah, like don't play it if you're playing the museum.
Could you imagine? My
Yeah.
blood's hungry. Why did you bring it to the museum? There's only one big sneaky snake here.
Killing him twice is hard.
Where should we put it? I just put it
But
here.
yeah, no, I think that's pretty fair.
But
Like when you build around it, it's really strong.
Solemn Vow. I think this card is more cute than it is good.
I don't know what you're talking about. That card is 3
Yeah,
gut.
like it is guts.
It is guts,
It's like
yeah.
good, but it's not great.
I think honestly,
I
it's
think
just
it's
it's a
like
nice
upper
C
B
card. If it's like if you want it, like you need to. It's an archetype thing, right? It's like boxing gloves, where it's good in certain
I think that
people.
card's way better than Alice Luxley.
Then which one? Sorry.
Agreed.
Alice Luxley.
Yeah.
Sure, is it
I
better
think
than Guard
that
Dog?
card-
No?
Maybe
Yeah.
Alex Luxley goes down here then. In that case,
Yeah, okay.
I could live with that.
cool. Tetsuo. Tetsuo is really nice.
Yeah.
I think he's at least here to start.
Yeah, I'd put him in the tier below Brother Xavier, I think. Like he also can take damage for any investigator at your location,
Yeah.
which is really neat. And when he dies, he does something cool.
Tetsuo Mori is an absolute hero.
Yeah.
He belongs in like A tier. For sure. I think he's better than Kenai. I think he might be better than that 3-cost gun we got there too. Like not only does he find so he's prepared for the worst when he dies, but also he finds items and he finds them for your teammates or from your discard.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like
No,
he does a
that's very
lot
true.
of things.
It is
And
on,
he-
and it's also really exciting to also get an ally that's like competitive with the allies that have been here the whole time, and like Tetsuo is really good at that.
Yeah, like I was gonna say I don't have any issue playing like Tetsuo and be copying my level 0 deck because when I draw Tetsuo, I'm just trying to get him killed.
Oh no, Tetsuo, please!
Well, he doesn't give you a stat boost. You just put him down, and then he soaks like ideally 4 points of damage,
Yeah,
and
but
you
he
throw him away, and
cares
you
so
find
much,
something
and
neat.
all we do is kill him. Poor guy. I'm with that. I think he's great. I think he's here.
Yeah.
This is the blessed gun, right?
Yeah, that's
Into
the Winchester.
trash.
Agreed. Unreliable extra damage? No, thank you.
Safeguard level
Like
2.
it does. This is like for Jim Culver though. This is like Song of the Dead at level 0.
Yeah.
Don't bring me back there, please. Safeguard level 2.
Straight to the top.
Oh yeah, no, that one's like right up at the tippy top.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Card's ridiculous.
Kinda.
Empty vessel.
I love Empty Vessel.
I also like Empty Vessel. It sucks that it costs 4, but I think that one's like high A+. I don't think it's
Yeah.
quite S tier.
Like it's really strong, and you can play it in any blue deck, and it doesn't really feel that bad.
What is the
Yeah,
upgrade
like I look
for it
at
do
it,
again?
and I go, this is a good card. But I look at the cards in S tier, and I'm like, it's not that good though.
So the flip side of it is like uses charges X, however many you had put into it, and then when you draw one of the symbol tokens, you can remove a charge to cancel it and heal.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it's just really good.
Yeah, I think even like better than physical training? I think so, but physical training,
I
this
think
one's it's so good.
Yeah, physical training's really good. When the Wish Eater's on, like I would probably put the Wish Eater like, oh, that's not even the Wish Eater. That's the card that will become the Wish Eater. But I would put it lower because you can only play one in your deck.
And this also, it's active immediately. You need to, like, you do have to do
Yeah.
some setup for those bonded cards. This one, whatever it's called again, Mystical Sitting.
Spiritual Resolve.
Thank you. This card is killer, and in Tommy, it means you
Card is
can't
really
die.
good. Oh man, I was playing that card in a Mark Harrigan deck.
Mhm.
You draw so many cards, you just see all your copies anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
Think it's up here?
yeah, I'd put that one in A+ for sure.
Probably below the Enchanted Blade.
Enchanted Blade is so good.
And,
I
like,
played that card in Tommy, and like I proceeded to get absolutely reamed by Light of Alforgan on like 3 scenarios out of the campaign. It was not a good feeling.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no, it's a really good card though.
Downgraded Kenai.
Oh, that one's pretty into the trash, I think.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
How much does it cost to play?
2.
it's the same card as Physical Training with a different second choice.
Oh no, it gives you until the end of the phase, doesn't it?
It does,
Can I
yeah.
read properly?
Yeah.
Well, that's better than the physical training level 0 then.
Maybe.
It's still pretty generous, I think. It's like down there with like levels. So this one's weird because you would never play it in your deck to upgrade into, really.
Yeah. It's like I say this in the kindest way possible, but it's like wasted cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think so. I think here. I'm loving it that like the circle is complete by like the bottom of these cards, and it's like vroom. Whatever this gun's called, a Colt?
The 38 Colt.
This is the level 0 version, right?
Yeah,
it's the level
you just
0
fight
version.
and deal +1 damage.
6 shots +1 damage. That's what it
Into the
does.
C tier.
Yeah, like this is better than the weapons in D tier because it is extra damage all the time.
I think this is like up further in the C tier though than that area. Like I would say this is better than that the bar.
Yep.
Yeah, that machine gun is like, it's cool design, but it doesn't have enough bullets to do anything.
And then there's the one that reloads.
Yeah.
That one's like kind of worse because you have to spend experience on it.
Yeah, it also only costs 2 to play versus 3.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
it costs
pretty
1
sweet.
resource
Oh,
less,
yeah,
which is like kind of neat. I would put
Yeah,
this
okay,
one in
I just,
in
like, put,
D
like-
tier. Yeah, like I do think that the upgrade on this is like actually notably better than the other one because if you're playing this, what do you want it for? It's either an ammunition battery, or your name is Mark Harrigan, and you don't need the extra punch because you are the extra punch.
I have 5.
Yeah. In which case you're just like extra damage for how long, and the gun's like forever.
Yeah, it's pretty fair. Like you could get away with playing like 2 Colts and maybe like a machete or something like that as your
Yeah.
own weapons.
Yeah, like I would if we were discussing cards for Mark Harrigan, this would be like A+, probably. But
Yeah,
we're not.
on it for most other investigators, it's pretty disappointing.
For most
Yeah.
other investigators, they really want that extra punch.
Yeah, I think low B, like bottom B, is kind of where I'm resonating because maybe above Solemn Vow. What do you guys think?
I think it's a solid card. It's just like it's not the weapon you want to pick most of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you do want to pick it, it's real good.
Upgraded Bandolier.
Now, I'm not saying that this card could have saved me from turning into a tree and being completely useless, but it could have.
I think this card's like very good.
Yeah, like two hand slots is pretty sick. It carries whatever gun you want it to.
Yeah, so it like
you also
not
get
only
a
does it
plus
carry
1
whatever
green.
gun you want to.
Yeah.
You're not playing it unless you want to carry a gun, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you do, it gives you +1 brain. This is like a A+ card, I think. The only downside to this is that it takes up your body slot, so the extra gun you're carrying can't be the flamethrower.
Yeah, yeah. But then again, like I think that's you. If you do that, don't.
Yeah, if you do that, don't. That's a pretty succinct way of saying that.
Like
Yeah,
this, I think
that's good.
Yeah.
better than Spiritual Resolve or whatever this called card.
I don't think it's better than Spiritual Resolve, no.
Cool.
Like, Spiritual
probably
Resolve
not.
can represent, like, 7 points worth of soak for 3 resources.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Upgraded Blackjack.
Oh, dude, this is A+. This card is so good.
So you get +2 for the attack.
Yeah.
And you ignore.
Reminding everyone that we are grading these cards based on the 3-player game that we normally play.
Yeah.
Well, like multiplayer.
Yeah, or at least, like, more than one. If you're playing true solo, do not ever play this card. It is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're playing
Yeah.
multiplayer, this card is awesome.
It is.
Not only can you not damage them when you miss, but it's just worth +2 to your attack and like an extra damage pretty much every time.
Sick. Upgraded Survival Knife.
I think this card's like actually kind of S tier.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would
It's a
put this
weapon.
one.
You just sit on it, and then like when enemies try to attack you, you get an extra action to attack them.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus you can kill them before they hit you. I was gonna say put this one near the blackjack. Like to me it's
I
fairly
think this
similar
card's
to
better
that.
than the. I think it's better than the blackjack because it basically gives you like you just hold it and then it gives you an extra action when you need it.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask then: is it better than Enchanted Blade?
Yeah.
I think it's really good. I do think.
Like not giving the extra damage on during your turn is the part that kills this for me. Like
Well, yeah, you don't use it as a weapon though. You use it like as an extra. Okay, it's like counterpunch, but every turn.
Yes. And playing with Counterpunch, it's sick.
Yeah, it's not the weapon that you use to fight things with. You have your machete, or you have your blackjack, or you have your enchant blade, or whatever,
Yeah.
and you just also have your survival knife in your back pocket.
You know what?
It pairs really well with like the bandolier and a big gun because you can hold your big gun and you just have your survival knife in your back pocket. And some little trash monster that you didn't want to spend action shooting, taxi, and you just stab him.
I'm going to leave it at the top of A+ right now. Because once again, I am very hard pressed to believe that the S tier can have more than the tier below it. Well, so when we get everything in, we can kind of look and judge.
Well, A tier is just like you just splintered it off from A tier.
It's true.
Those are like the same tier, kinda.
Kind of, but also not really. If it's a different tier, we could merge it together, right? But it's just because we had an A+ last time. That's why I made another one. But we'll finish and we can judge. Because I do also agree, Travis, having Survival Knife just there to get an extra attack that... is this before they attack?
Yeah, that's what that upgrade
Yeah,
was.
like so like counterpunch, right? Like that's incredible when that happens and you kill somebody, or you're just like at the end of your turn, you're like, I'm gonna move into this location anyway with an enemy, or like this enemy has Hunter and moves in. I mean, yeah, honestly, Travis I just convinced myself. Like there's so many
That card's,
cases where that's
really
like
good.
that it just does so much for you with a 2 resource and 1 hand slot investment. And when you have Bandolier, that's not even an investment. It's basically then also potentially 1 brain, right?
Its base ability is actually not that awful either to attack with a +2 punch. It's great for just like clearing out random rats and cultists and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if your guy has like base 4 punch and there's like just a cultist hanging out, you don't have to spend a bullet on him. You can just go up to 6.
Heck yeah. All right, Flesh Ward, what does this do? When you're dealt damage under horror from an enemy
This
attack...
card's better than you think.
yeah,
Cancel when
it has the
damage or
potential to block a lot of damage.
Yeah.
This is better than either of the first aids, I think.
Yes, only because it's a little more flexible.
Yeah.
It also,
Also,
then
like, it
also
just doesn't-
soaks. It also does
you-
soak.
I would
Yeah.
kind
You
of
don't,
bump it up to like just behind the true grid actually.
You don't have to spend the action investment that you do with first aid to get a similar amount of extra health, effective extra health.
Yeah, that's fair. Greet Wagner. So she gets +1 attack, and after you defeat an enemy, exhaust her and deal 1 damage to her, discover 1 clue at your location. Hey, it's like Roland.
I think she's the other investigator, or other ally that's like up there with Beacop and Tetsuo.
Yeah.
I think she's a little bit lower than them though.
Yeah, 5
Just
resources is a
because-
lot.
Yeah, also when you're playing multiplayer, being able to get clues on your fighter is less important than other places.
Yeah, but she is like
She's right there.
good.
And then what does her upgrade do? You also get +1 book? Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, you also get +1 book, and she has an extra health.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you get them from connecting locations as well? Is that something that she does?
Or
That's
connecting
what I do.
location. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, that's
like,
like good.
She's good. Yeah, you don't even have to be on the location.
I should
she's-
build a roll deck and play.
She might be. This upgrade one might be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Brother Xavier costs 1.
It does cost 3 XP, and
Yeah.
like
I think that's
They are-
good. I think Brother
yeah.
Xavier is slightly better just for.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
She
What
is
does
really-
this card do and called?
oh D.
Into the trash.
Yeah.
When you deal
That's what
excess
it's
damage
called,
to an
that's what it
enemy.
does.
Further down in the trash.
Yeah, when you
Yeah,
deal,
that's
it's like when
great.
you deal extra. It's called like relentless, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you deal excess
And
damage to an
when you-
enemy, exhaust it
yeah.
and place the excess damage on Relentless as an action. As a lightning bolt, discard it. Gain resources equal to the. Ew.
Like, how much work do you need to do to make that into an emergency cache?
When I was a lot.
Yeah,
This guy, level 0 safeguard.
still really good.
I think that's like still A or A plus.
Yeah, like it's not much worse than the upgraded one.
Yeah. So freaking like for how bad Relentless is, just go back to that for a second. When I was teaching my family how to play the game, my dad was playing Nathaniel Cho, and he asked me on like day 3 if he could take out his deck because it seemed useless.
Oh. I
I
mean,
was
yeah.
like, yeah.
It's a good read.
No, you're right. This does seem bad.
Yeah, I think Safeguard. I mean, Safeguard's a great card, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like the difference is that this one is only a shortcut every turn, whereas the other one is sometimes more than one shortcut every turn.
Yeah.
Like, still
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And then finally, boxing gloves.
Yeah, just like stick it. It can be go at the bottom of B tier, I think.
Yeah, like it is better if you're doing any of the things that you want boxing gloves for.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
that's
if you're building a boxing gloves deck, that's pretty high on the list of things to like make
Yeah.
your boxing gloves pair is pretty important.
It could be really cute with the upgraded bandolier,
hmm
where you just have boxing gloves in your bandolier, but it also just makes you better at shooting people with your gun.
Yeah, or yeah, you just have the machete, but the boxing gloves are just
Yeah.
tied around your neck, and you're just like chopping
Yeah,
people up
yeah.
at +3, and then killing people and getting spirits. All right, that's fine. I like that.
Like, it is better.
It is better. Sick. All right, well, there is our S tier with Stick to the Plan at number 1, Machete number 2, Safeguard number 3. It's a good top 3.
I feel good about that.
Pardon?
So I feel good about it.
I do too. I think that is really nice. So I think, I don't know exactly what we'll do, but we'll probably in the future take like our S and all the way to A tier, and they will return in the future to fight out again, fight another day, once we start comparing everything, because that's the long
That's the long con.
complicated part of it. That's what we're all gonna do. But so I'll just scroll through for people watching at home. You can see where we are. If you have any thoughts about what you disagree with, let us know in the comments below. Next, we're gonna. I don't have a set schedule for this. Honestly, it might actually like be every 2 weeks, replacing our list video in our schedule. I'm gonna kind of see how it all shapes together, because this is a lot longer video content than a 10-minute list video. This is a nearly hour-long video of us talking about cards. But I mean, if you want to watch it and you're cool with it taking the list spot, let us know in the comments below as well. And then otherwise, we got Seekers assets next. Then we'll go through all the colors. Then we'll do events and skills, and then we'll start putting them all against each other. If there's anything else you also want to see us put in a tier list for whatever reason, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everybody. You guys have a good one, and as always, GG's.